film universe
to end.
Ever since Marvel achieved astronomical success with their Marvel Cinematic Universe, just about every film studio has been out to create a universe of their own, whether it be Warner Brothers with the DC Universe, Disney with the way they've treated Star Wars, or even the Monsterverse with Godzilla and King Kong and that likes, and even the failed ones, which like the Dark Universe, which was meant to be the launch of The Mummy with Tom Cruise back in 2017, which didn't go so well. And even with the recent success of the Super Mario Brothers movie, they're already talking about a Nintendo Cinematic Universe. So it's still alive and kicking, this idea of the film universe, and I really believe it needs to come to an end. Before I get into my reasons why it has to end, I do have to say that if a film universe is successfully delivered and achieved, it has the potential for greater success than any other property imaginable, which is why the Marvel Cinematic Universe has made more money than any other franchise out there by a country mile. On the flip side of that coin, however, if something fails within that universe, it then has ramifications for not just that film, but a lot of the surrounding films. So one of the key reasons why the film universe needs to come to an end is that when you have these film universes, they inevitably remove a lot of the suspense and significance from their stories, because we already know that a lot of the characters are going to pop up in future entries. So what that means is when we are watching a film or a story within a contained universe, we can never truly buy into the idea that one of the characters' lives or something is truly at stake, because we know that they are already contracted for future films. And whilst I understand the logic behind putting an actor under a contract for 5, 6, 7, 10 films, whatever, because we want to make sure that it is the same actor playing that character throughout the whole franchise so that you have a conclusive story from start to finish. Ultimately, I'd rather take the risk and only release films once off of the back of the previous one, knowing that, okay, we have got a success with this one, we know that it works, now let's move forward with the next one, rather than making these grand plans of 10, 15 movie universes when you don't know what the success of any of those films is going to be at any given point. You might have half of them turn out great and half of them turn out bad, and they would have changed them accordingly had they not planned out everything in advance and not put all their eggs into one basket so early on. As a member of the audience, I'd much rather them take this risk so that each time I go to one of these films, I am truly invested and unsure of who's going to come out of it alive or dead or whatever. And that way my excitement level is more each time, rather than just waiting for them to get to the next step, because ultimately it all leads to a final film. And so with that said, no filmmaker can possibly accommodate these things to their full potential. They are always going to have limits placed on them, because they have to follow the criteria of the rest of the films and have to make their characters do certain things that are referenced in previous films or set up things for future films. They can never just truly focus on the film that's at hand. So that really limits directors and writers, etc., from really using their creativity with the film in front of them, because they are completely hamstrung and have to abide by the greater laws of the universe. And when you think back to the pre-MCU era, when you look at the Marvel films that existed before that, be it the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies or the X-Men movies, most of them were great films, and you can watch any one of those great films on their own and they stand on their own as great films. You don't need to have seen everything to understand them. They are each individually great, and none of them were planned out. They just kind of each happened off of the back of the previous one's success. And I know I'm not making a monetary argument here. I understand that these film universes are where all the money's at right now. At least there are some diminishing returns coming in, but this is where everyone wants to build. This is what's popular. People want to go out and see film universes and invest in these multi-saga franchises. But I'm more arguing from a quality standpoint that if we avoid the film universe, if we leave the film universe idea, we can just have individual great films once again, rather than everything setting up the next one and not being able to watch one on their own because they are completely confined within their own universe. We need to return to a time when films were unsure if they were going to get a sequel, or the concept of a sequel was basically non-existent almost, because that will force greater creativity and quality into the films that they are making, which will then inevitably result in sequels because they were so good. As opposed to just current times where they literally commission 3 Ant-Man movies or 3 Captain Marvel movies, whatever it might be, just everything is planned out, so they have to follow through on it, otherwise it breaks all their other ideas that they got going on. You know, just focus on one film and then go from there. And you know, I think of James Gunn's recent announcement as the new head of DC, how he's announced basically like 10 films and TV shows that he wants to come out with in their first phase. I'm just there thinking, how about make one good Superman movie and then see what you do? Focus all your energy on that. Forget Batman, forget Wonder Woman, forget Green Lantern, all those other characters he's mentioned. Just focus on Superman, establish him, make him great, and then worry about your next one. Even then, okay, he's still doing a film universe, which I disagree with, but at least treat it on its own. Because what happens if your Superman movie doesn't turn out good? Well, ruins your plans for other things, because maybe another film turns out great and then you want to prop up that one more, when really Superman should be your most propped up character within a DC universe. You just can't foresee these things. You can plan as much as you want, but it doesn't mean they're going to turn out well. So just focus on one movie, make one great movie, and then take your next step. And whilst I will concede that Marvel Cinematic Universe, particularly phases 1 to 3, were damn near as perfect a film universe as you're going to get, but I think now the evidence, particularly phase 4 and now 5, you can see the clear dip in quality. It's now gone too far. There's too much that they have to juggle, and it's just not working. They need to just scrap the MCU after this current saga. When it ends, just scrap it all, go back to basics, and just start working on individual films again. Forget the idea that everything needs to be connected. Just establish great films on their own, and you'll bring so many more people back to the cinema who are sick of the idea that you have to watch 20 movies and 10 TV shows to understand the latest entry in your universe. I think it's gone too far now. It's gotten out of hand. Let's bring it back to basics. So anyways, that's my main reasons as to why I believe the film universe needs to end. In my heart, I don't believe that it's actually going to end anytime soon. I think a lot of studios are actually doubling down on it in different ways, but I genuinely believe that it should end. They should go back to basics with filmmaking. I think they are starting to see diminishing returns, and they're not focusing on one of the reasons, which is what the film universe does to their films quality-wise. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, whether you agree or disagree. I hope you found it interesting at least. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about the film universe? Should it continue, or should they go back to basics? Whatever it might be, please post in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.